Warrior Tier in the house. Huge shout out to Warrior Tier. We've been watching their stuff, and this stuff is one of the most requested ones. And Warrior Tier, hi if you're watching. The Sanguinius video was mwah, chef's kiss, but people keep telling me that this one is even better. From Big Bang to Endless War, how we built empires and break them. Lecture 1 and Overlord Trazyn's grand history of everything. The great sleep ends for us Necron. We awake to a galaxy so different. From the Eldar to the Tau. Here's the history of our galaxy. So this is a, you know, we kind of watched a few videos on 40k timeline, but this one is told by Necrons, which should be different than your normal history lesson. so I'm excited. Damn, it starts like a space documentary.
My life's work,
I love it.
my museum, our gallery. Within these halls sits the galaxy's most comprehensive collection of artifacts in existence. I have spent my long years cataloging the entire culture of all the beings I could, from the dawn of time to the present day. Within these halls are libraries containing the last known words of countless races who have been cast to the harsh, uncaring winds of time. Truth be told, there are more galleries in my museum than a mortal could wish to visit in several lifetimes. Each hall is dedicated to a great empire and their achievements, but also their faults and inevitable demise. The history of the universe is filled with such empires.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was already Trazyn's voice. Supposedly. Sounds very human, right? Sounds very, very likable. Hold on. Let me grab a quick info from the internet on Trazyn the Infinite, okay? So that we're on the same page, so I don't ask stupid questions. Is a Necron overlord and the self-proclaimed archivist. Okay, I was like, is he a sage or something? Archivist of the Solemnance galleries on the Necron tomb world of Solemnance. Preserver of the galaxy's histories, important artifacts and events, and often liberates what he wants from other like liberates sounds like Blood Ravens. Liberates what he wants from other alien races or even his fellow Necrons so that the treasures may be preserved in his galleries. In short, he's a big nerd.
Their names forever carved on the steel of time. There are others who accomplished little with their gift of life, their existences being short, painful, blighted tales. The tales of history are only reserved for those who earn the right to write them. I will show the halls of my library to guide you on the story of all of time. As we start from the dawn of all existence. Density, temperature, a singularity, initiating the expansion. Primordial gas and cosmic dust sent into eternity to become everything we know or ever will.
Who made the animations?
Gravity is the key to it all. Gravity birthed the stars. It connects the galaxies, guiding them in motion to their inevitable orbits, that haunting cosmic ballet played out over infinite millennia, forever churning in the restless flow of time, locked in the embrace of gravitational unity. Vast ages of time pass. Ancient evolution forms in the stars. Gravity guides worlds beyond count into existence. As the stars collapsed and more were driven into the infinite, the impossible happened. The first true life in the universe emerged, victorious, in an arms race of evolutionary barbarism. I suppose I should introduce the immaterium,
Oh, yes,
the
please.
sea of souls, the ether. It has many names. However, it is generally referred to as the warp, an alternate dimension that has existed as long as the universe itself. Made up of pure psychic energy and raw emotions, the warp is endless, unpredictable, and terribly dangerous to those who cannot harness its power. The first conscious life was the star vampires, self-aware entities that appeared in the void between nowhere and nothing. Beings of great power that consumed the energies of stars, feeding on the life force of the planets themselves. These parasites do not differ from any life in the universe. All life desires the same outcome: energy consumption and safety for their offspring. They would, with time, be known as the Catan.
Okay, there we go.
The cursed reptilian Old Ones scraped
They
their
were
primal
reptilian.
forms onto the shores of worlds, long dead before even we Necrons evolved to stand upright.
Wait, that's what Catan looked like? Hold on. Yeah, it looks like kind of a big snake or something. Or I don't know, frog? A lizard. Oh, those are the old ones. So what? This is Catan then? The small boy is a Catan. Oh, this is a Catan. And the old ones who looked like frogs? Crazy frog. You know what I'm saying? Who's the Catan? Who's the old ones?
The cursed reptilian Old Ones scraped their primal
Oh,
forms
wait.
onto the shores
Catan
of
are the
worlds,
old ones.
long dead before even we Necrons evolved to stand upright. The first true sentient beings to cross the vast reaches of the galaxy. They were the first to climb the long trail of evolution
Shonkable.
and self-awareness. Their ceaseless advances placed them at the top of the pyramid in this
I had
galaxy.
no idea they looked like
They
that.
traveled through the stars like dust travels on the breeze, and even built what younger races would call the webway.
Yeah, the webway. Okay, so Catan are star gods and old ones are biological creators of life. So the chunky lizards are the old ones. The Catan are the edgy looking characters.
Through the webway, the Old Ones seeded life on hundreds of worlds. In their wake, they birthed countless untold species and cultures. Life was cruel to our species. I need not tell you that.
Yeah.
Evolving upon a cursed world, falling victim to the scorching heat of our nearest star,
Yeah,
withering our bodies and lives.
they were
Our
cooked
suffering
Necrons.
evolved our culture and history. We built our empire despite the struggle and endless pain. We were worthy of the gifts the stars had shown to the others.
Look, this is a pre-Necron Necrons. Necron tier, right? Necron tier.
Our leaders met with the Old Ones. We begged for the cure to death,
Damn, they look so cool.
to show us the secrets of immortality. They refused us, refused our desire for life. And, in their ignorance, they doomed themselves. There was no choice for us. We waged war against the tyrants. Countless generations ground to powder beneath the heel of the greedy and the vicious. Even with our unified empire, Even with the might of countless worlds and millions of genius warsmiths, the strength of our dynasties was not enough to defeat the Old Ones. The war was lost. The greatest defeat being that we were still cursed to weak, frail lives. The Old Ones banished us to the edges of the galaxy. They forced...
So they were weak, frail because, like, compared to Necrons, they're weak, frail, or they were just a weak, frail race because of the conditions of the harsh conditions of the planet that they lived on. They were just cooked. They were born cooked. Weak, frail race. Because not Mechanicus, right? Cancer-ridden radioactive boys.
us into exile on our home world.
Oh, damn, Cloaks. Okay.
It was then that the Catan came with their offer. The ancient beings of the cosmos had appeared. They came as gods, promising the gifts we desperately sought. We were all fools to believe them.
Oh no.
After the agreements were signed, our people were put in chains and marched into the furnaces. As our flesh and blood was ripped from our bodies, we became the machine. We were betrayed. The Catan. Those traitorous sun-eating dogs feasted on the souls of a whole race, an entire culture. How tragic then that the ambassador for the Catan was named the Deceiver, but our translators misunderstood and believed its name was the Messenger.
Wait.
The god.
Wait. So should I believe this or not? Is this canon or not? Do Necrons have a different perspective on things? Translator, you had one job. Okay, it's canon. That's not how it was. I was there, Gandalf. I saw how it happened. Everything is canon. Nothing is true. They use the AI translator.
The breaking of the void. The war in heaven. 5 million years of hate and flame.
Million.
The Old Ones were driven back by the combined force of the Catan and us, their steel slaves. Wherever we Necron tread, life fades like a distant spark in a cold night. The Old Ones, those fools, they grew desperate, creating the Eldar to help them in their losing war. A race of decadent, hedonistic artists to fight steel gods. Fools.
That's how they were created.
They created the fierce Krork, a species that thrives on war and the desire for war. Little did they know the plague they were creating. And on a small habitable world,
sorry, I'm yelling.
It was said that they also seeded baseline primate life.
Humans.
As the last defense strongholds are on the verge of collapse, after we have flayed the minds and spirits of countless Old Ones, they formed their last doomed battle line. As the Old Ones were pushed into oblivion, Zarek, the Silent King, led our armies against our slave masters. We turned on the Catan.
Oh, nice.
The Catan were weakened by the war against the Old Ones and the threats of the Eldari and Krork armies. The Catan was shattered, defeated and placed in our stasis chambers, made to watch from containment as the race they sought to enslave freed themselves. The mighty Catan were not much more than prisoners, forced to watch us live on despite their evil desire. Weakened from the wars, we faced the new threats of the multiple upstart races, the Eldari, the Krork, and so many more. The Silent King decided our fate. We were to wait in silence as our armies rebuilt. We need not fear time like our puny carbon-based enemies.
Carbon-based.
It is during this time the Eldari developed their technology at an exponential rate, becoming.
Oh, yeah. The Eldari are gonna become so OP. They're gonna be so bored. They're gonna start doing wild. By that, they're gonna birth Slanesh, right? I think I remember this one.
The dominant force in the universe. It seemed they had advanced their species to immortality. But how long could they sustain their own desires?
Ah, there we go.
I admit, I am partial to the Eldari. Their great works are unrivaled. Their ability to will a world into being is haunting. We must speak about the so-called human element. As their empires take up many halls of my museum.
Look at these babies.
Though sometimes unhinged and unpredictable, they are interesting and present true promise for us. We will cover much of their history, difficult as it is with the conflicting dates set by the Imperium itself. But no matter, we will account their records from our own sources. Imperial records will be our guide, or should I say, those Imperial records which I have procured will be our guide.
Procured.
I always found them to be of great amusement. They had begun on a small class 54415 planet.
Cute.
On the edge
Cute. Xenos are amused by Monkai. They find us cute and curious to observe.
Galactic arm of the Milky Way. They had first crawled from the primordial ooze as advanced water-based life. To think that glorified fish now wrap the galaxy in an iron fist is a...
You, sir, are a glorified fish, okay? This is my favorite offense now.
enough to burn my central processors to solder. However, as we slept, these fish people became baseline primates, class 4 beings. For much of their early existence, the primitives accomplished little. It was their use of tools that separated them from the other animals of creation. From the first moment a cave-dwelling savage struck a porcine variant with a rock, it was all over. Slowly, they invented pottery and the bringer of security, that is fire. It was then that the warp entities had emerged from the void, the first knowledge of the immaterium. The damage from our wars against gods had gripped wounds in the universe. From these wounds came the apparent gods, extremely powerful creatures that bask in the souls of the dead, growing ever in power. The mortals referred to the beings as the Chaos Gods. They were named Khorne, Tzinch, and Nurgle. What are three more pathetic void beings against the might of this galaxy? We have killed greater beings before. We may have to do so again. It is at this point that the Eldari learned the secrets of the webway and continued their dominance of the stars. The imperial myth concerning the birth of their god-emperor is as follows. Seeing the inevitable fate of humanity to be consumed by the chaos gods, a group of humanist shamans banded together to stop this future. They had devised a plan to save their species from the thirsting gods committing ritualized mass self-annihilation. As the shamans died and their souls entered the warp, the power of the souls overwhelmed the beings that inhabited that dead void. The soul of their soon-to-be emperor was birthed and made manifest in his physical form.
Oh.
Wait,
I thought the emperor was Turkish. What? Okay.
This is perhaps one of my favorite twists of fate in all of history. Deep within a black stone complex, which crashed on Mars before the rise of humanity,
Anatolia?
is the Noctis Labyrinth. Within walls built 65 million years ago by us, lies the ancient Void Dragon. Imperial myth tells us that it is believed that the Emperor conquered this dragon on Terra. After this defeat, it was imprisoned beneath Mars for all time. Little do they know, those red-robed clicking iron princes, that their void dragon is a Catan let loose by corrupted
Oh my god, it's
slumber
Pascal.
clouds. I wonder how they would react to the news that its real name is the Eater of Knowledge. The humans began their empire on Terra. Their grasp of technology is slow. They spend much of their time throwing sharpened tree pieces at each other. Terra had a multitude of cultures, each one's god more important than the other. It was during this time that the Chaos Gods had fully awakened. With the abundance of new souls, the Chaos Gods had grown stronger. One human myth is that these events in their early years manifested the gods. Khorne was born in the charnel pits of millions of dead humans.
Oh, no.
Nurgle vomited into the universe in the wake of the vast catalogue of their illnesses.
The plague, and
Tzinch
stuff.
during the artistic awakening periods of each unique Terran culture.
Drama.
How arrogant to think that the universe would notice their tiny conflicts. Humans had conquered their homeworld. They had experimented with the possibilities of travel through the Immaterium, still unsure of how to harness its power for space travel. They had developed primitive spacefaring capabilities.
Sorry, had to giggle at that.
And set off to terraform their solar system. They have always been amusing creatures, thinking
So
themselves
cute.
masters of the cosmos,
Very cute.
even back when fire was their most advanced achievement.
Yeah, the SpaceX.
In essence, they are simple jellyfish, a travesty of nerves that stems from an inferior brain, piloting a suit of bone, wrapped in decaying meat. It is their arrogance that I enjoy so much. They
I'm
were
personally
never meant
offended.
for the stars, yet they do all to conquer each parsec. They fight amongst themselves more than any enemy. Tranquility makes them squirm. They
Okay,
lived
okay,
for
enough.
The humans built colonies throughout their nearest worlds, a slow process due to their primitive spacecraft. They
Very
continue
primitive.
to do what they do best, build and breed. Worlds are terraformed and colonized. Sublight travel was their archaic way of colonization, each colony drifting farther from the home world of Terra. Overexpansion resulted in loss of communication. It was only a matter of time before this formula would collapse into bedlam and chaos.
Yeah,
As the
sad.
years drifted on, countless interstellar empires emerged, trading throughout the galaxies. Most of these supposed empires bore me. They prosper for such short spans of time. One does not even need to remember their futile existence. The humans furthered their grasp on nature, bending any resources they could find to their greed. Colonies stretched into the vast reaches of solar systems, overextending their empire. The myths of the Emperor continue to grow. It is said the Emperor arrived on Molech and found a portal into the Immaterium. A deal was made with the Chaos Gods for the gift of knowledge of warpcraft, allowing the Emperor to create the Primarchs.
Oh, damn.
The Eldar Empire had grown into the most advanced civilization in the universe. They had achieved the apex of technology, creating their own desires from will alone. Lesser races proved no threat to their domination of the stars. The human gene saw an evolutionary jump. There were sudden appearances of psychers, as they call them, cursed individuals who can draw power from the Immaterium. Humans who developed the navigator gene allowed the first human navigators to make the passage through the warp. The great navigator bloodlines controlled warp travel. The humans continued to explore and colonize all that they found. Treaties were signed with dozens of Xeno races. It was truly a golden age for humanity.
Looks like Mass Effect.
Technology often gets the better. The promises of comfort and ease of existence has led to the downfall of dozens of species. It was then that man's greatest creations,
Oh
their
no.
slaves, turned on their masters
The
in force.
robots, the AI, the
cybernetic
abominable
revolt, as it
intelligence.
was once called, started with the men of iron. Anarchy ripped throughout all of humanity. The golden age of humanity ended in brutality. Who knows how many billions lost their lives, or what technology was destroyed in the process?
Stupid
Across
robots.
the stars, another empire fell to time. The Eldar had
Eldar.
enjoyed their moment of success. Technology was not their downfall.
The
Their own
desires.
desires tore them apart. Sheer physical impulses and depravity broke them. Their yearning for lust and pleasure cursed their kind.
They should have been
The
bonked.
being that spawned from their depravity forever changed the course of the stars. It was then that the being known as Slaanesh came to be. The Eye of Terror that came to be from the creation of Slaanesh obliterated almost all of the Eldar.
Damn.
She who thirsts, as some have called Slaanesh, feasted on billions of Eldari souls. Some of the Eldari foresaw the dark future and left their homeworlds behind. The craft worlds were all that was left of them now.
It's the good
Vast,
boys.
floating cities that are slowly fading away. As a fan of theatrical renditions of historical events,
This
I
is
find the
such a
performances
pretty
from this
art.
era to be especially entertaining. The humans had peaked in their scientific advances. The historical blueprints, or as they are more commonly known, the standard template constructs, became the database of all human technology. Humanity was plagued with warp storms that appeared throughout the far reaches of the galaxy. Warp travel was impossible, and the colonies began to erode. This is a difficult time for my collection. Almost all the important artifacts had been stolen by
Yeah.
that damned Mechanicus.
Oh, stolen. I
If
thought
only I were awake
destroyed.
during this time.
Ugh.
The humans are easy candidates for the corruptive powers that inhabit the warp.
Yeah, I
Through the
bet.
warp storms, psychic energy flowed into space. The weaker of humanity's psychers suffered from demonic possession.
How did you do that?
The human race tore itself apart. The Emperor of Mankind began his plans for domination. He began work on creating the gene seeds that would lead to the formation of his 20 sons.
Oh, that was before.
Or as they are more
he
commonly
made
referred to,
Primarchs.
Primarchs. Imperial record fails to state exactly how this event occurred. It only states the Primarch embryos were scattered throughout the galaxy. All blame is laid at the feet of the Chaos Gods for this deed.
I wonder why they're not saying how the Primarchs were created. Like he basically put the gene seed in the tube, and that's how they were born, right? And animal DNA. What? Space magic and storks? Secret patented process. With the Emperor's DNA mixed with a ton of other things, including warp magic. Ah, so it wasn't just the gene seed put in the tube. Okay. Gotcha.
But who can really say? The Emperor set out on his quest to find the missing Primarchs.
Oh, the babies scattered around space.
My sleep was suddenly over. Myself and other High Lords awakened from our slumber. My initial excitement evaporated as the realization of how much time had passed.
There's
I
a
had to
sleepy
continue
boy.
my work. It was my duty to my dynasty to store the relics of our past. Even that miserable little pile of secrets Urakin was awakened. However, this was not our time to reclaim our galaxy.
Ooh, this is a cool looking
What a
Necron.
time to be awake, to witness this short era of grandeur. This story of this era contains artifacts that are amongst my favorites in all of my museum.
Aw.
The warp storms that plagued mankind for over 5,000 years drifted away. The Emperor of Mankind was known as the greatest psyker in history.
Damn, he's cute.
He united the people under his rule during the Unification Wars. He made a pact with the cult Mechanicus on Mars. He expanded the human empire while discovering his wayward sons. The blood that was spilled was that of legend. The humans had set to take hold of the galaxy, swallowing everything in their path. Unity was always their strength, yet they denied it at every chance they could. The Emperor was the key to their survival. He colored his
Yeah, I
legions
remember
and
this
sent his
picture.
sons to fight his wars.
I mean,
I witnessed
art.
such glorious battles during this period. So much occurred during these times. So much to record, to document, to preserve. The artifacts from this era are amongst some of my favorites. The Primarchs had been found and sent on their various quests for the Emperor. The Great Crusade had come to an end. Humanity had become the dominant life in the universe. Imperial history, recording events during these times, had been subverted. So much has been altered to appease the masses, to appease the Inquisition and the religious maniacs. What is known as fact is the Emperor's favorite son, Horus, had betrayed the Emperor. He and half of his brothers rebelled against the Imperium, and I was there to see it play out.
Bad boys.
The Battle of Istvan III was where the treachery transpired, with blade and firearm. To see the armored warriors battle, brother against brother, it was as beautiful as it was tragic.
Horus, you silly man.
I remember being impressed by the humans. My theory of their hatred of peace was proven once again.
Hatred of peace.
How they loved to fight. The eternal war had begun. Above Terra, another civil war had already begun brewing. The Mechanicum split into two. The Red Robes believe in a being they named the Omnisire. Many believe the Emperor was not the true avatar of the machine god. Many believe that the Emperor is, in fact, the Omnisire made flesh. An epic battle took place above what the humans had once called the Earth. The traitor sons of the Emperor invaded the human homeworld. They had come to kill the Emperor and take control of the Imperium. This was a staggering battle for beings such as humans. The final battle occurred between Horus and the Emperor after millions were killed by their blood brothers.
No,
The final
poor
blows were
Sanguinius.
landed by the Emperor and his favorite son Horus. A clash that left the Emperor fatally wounded. It is a shame what happened. The Emperor slew Horus, who, in fairness, had it coming. Much to my annoyance, those loyal to Horus managed to
I've never seen Erebus. I have no idea. I know nothing about Erebus other than Erebus. That's the only piece of lore that I know about him, okay? Not even Chaos likes Erebus.
steal his remains away. How I wished to have Horus's armor in my collection. I have spent many centuries harvesting rumors of the remains of the arch-traitor. The fatally wounded Emperor was interred in the Golden Throne, a technological marvel from humanity's old world. Technology the Mechanicus hardly understood. This was the end of the human reign of superiority. It had come to a glorious finale. The fact that I'm reasonably confident that the Golden Throne is our technology is not important. The times following the Horus heresy were boring in comparison. Humans fell back once again into predictability. It was black or white from then on.
Very
The
predictable.
Loyalists gradually reclaimed the Imperium, pushing the traitor forces that aligned with the Chaos Gods back into the warp. The 9 Loyalist Space Marine legions are divided and began their own quests throughout the galaxy. The humans desperately wanted their place at the top. As they struggled, other races grew in strength across the galaxy. The Drukhari had formed back when Slanesh the Depraved was birthed. They saw the event as inevitable and accepted their evolutionary destiny. They are a brutal race, arrogant, hedonist, and vile for the sake of nefariousness. There were none in the
Damn.
galaxy who rise.
Why do they look so effed up? This is the Drukhari? I thought they looked the same as Eldari, just dressed more edgy. I mean, I guess from all the, from the kinky stuff, they all got scars. Oh, those are not the regular Drukhari. Those are the crazy drug... I don't know, they got drugs and stuff, it looks like. Homuncula, the flesh-altering scientists of Drukhari. Oh, damn, they're super... Okay. Yeah, I'm realizing that I don't know shit about Drukhari. All Drukhari are not normal, but these are not normal cranked to 15.
Rivaled their cruelty. A slave in the city of Komorra named Vect swore to be the ruler of the Dark City. He was ambitious and founded his own group known as the Cult of the Black Heart. With a devious plan, he betrayed the leaders of Komorra and had the humans kill his enemies. With the leaders weakened, Vect took power and led the Dark Elder. What he led them towards is unknown. These beasts created nothing, they offered nothing. They reveled in suffering just as the Catan did.
The hell?
They are beneath our regard, but have earned our disgust. The orcs
I love
attempted to
this.
claim
Beneath our regard, but earned our disgust. The phrasing.
their position at the top of the evolutionary chain. The ancient race had swelled in numbers over the millennia. An orc war boss known as the Beast built an impressive army that rampaged the universe. It was during this time that the greenskins became a threat to all. I find them to be similar in some ways to the humans, warring against each other.
Where are the
Obsessed with
Tyranids?
power, obsessed with what both races call
Damn,
loot.
he big.
Loot.
Damn, he
A
big.
crude word. Both believe their technology to be superior to all. Another life form that idolizes the spirit of war, the Astartes, were able to stop the Green Wave, at great costs, however.
Green wave.
A new species emerged from the dust of the cosmos. The Flesh Robotics first discovered the Tau on a distant world.
Ooh, everybody's
Adeptus
favorite
Mechanicus ship,
faction.
Land's vision, found the primitive species. The blue creatures were simple in nature, having only learned to use simple tools
Oh, they're
and
so
fire.
cute.
Simple creatures that were of no threat, but still, their elimination was ordered as they were to be destroyed for the good of the Imperium. Before the planet could be annihilated, it was surrounded by a violent warp storm. The wars soon to take place changed the fate of their world. The Imperium abandoned their plans for colonization and left the species to their fate. I am sure the Imperium uses this story to drive their agendas. The Tau were able to unite under one banner.
How did they evolve from such cute creatures into such ugly people?
They claimed to stand for the cause of the greater good, a seemingly effective form of governance. As the centuries passed, the Tau built their empire, diving into different
those were not
castes.
Tau. Oh, okay.
You may encounter
I thought
them.
those were
They will speak
early
of
Tau.
all these castes, bar one, the Ethereals. These ruling beings.
I thought this was like the early Tau, kind of like humans used to be fish people and Tau used to be cute, whatever they looked like. They're aligned with the Tau. Okay. Tau look like Thanases without a nose.
Are conveniently forgotten about in the Tau propaganda. These faceless elites are the true ruling class of the Tau. The Fire Caste are the fist used to quell rebellion. The Earth Caste show off their medical capabilities to lowly serfs. The Air Caste blockade worlds and offer free transports. And of course, the Water Caste, those silver-tongued diplomats. They promise so much to anyone with the oral receptors to hear. These upstart fledgling fools must learn to tread carefully. They do not have the ability to confront the Imperium that they berate. Only Father Time will tell whether these masters of masquerade will live or die.
Masquerade.
Another rise in power for the awful orcs. Centuries of crusading had weakened the Imperium. Humanity teetered on the verge of collapse. The orc invasions were relentless. Even worse, the more the orcs suffered, the more they grew. Countless star systems fell to the Green Wave. It is their chaotic nature that holds them back from remaining atop their evolutionary chain.
Because they fight each other.
A culture predicated on the desire to be bigger and stronger than the rest can only go so far without true governance. Even
kinda
with
like
their
humans,
simplicity, the damage
just
they
simpler.
caused almost destroyed the humans. It was not our time to rise. Our armies were set to awake at a later date. However, Our tomb worlds were invaded by the Adeptus Mechanicus on their quest to find the lost standard template constructs. They discovered our tomb worlds. Their curiosity and their degradation of the slumber protocols led to countless members of our race awakening. 65 million years of slumber. It was our time to rule the galaxy once more, to reclaim what we had died for. Our metallic bodies regenerated. Our weaponry was to mortals what the storm was to the stone. More of our tombs were awakened. Our armies began their conquest. The Silent King took back his rightful seat
angry
on the throne. It is our time once again.
Hell yeah.
How the humans love to hold their martyrs up for all to see. No single world is a greater martyr than Cadia. In truth, I had believed the Terran method of time recording, BC, stood for before Cadia. They speak of this planet so often during battle. It was a world of much importance to the Imperium.
It's a symbol.
And to be
you
frank,
wouldn't understand.
The galaxy. The fall of Cadia is a loss. It was a weapon designed to remove the warp from our reality. Its loss must be lamented. During the 13th Black Crusade,
Cadia broke. The planet broke before the guard did. Yeah, I still need to finish the Cadia Stance audiobook that I got gifted.
War Master of Chaos, Abaddon the Despoiler, launched a massive assault against the Loyalists. A unfathomable war broke out, and the planet was eventually destroyed. It was a significant loss for the Imperium, losing such a beautiful world to their own traitorous kind. One of the greater threats faced by the mortal races of the galaxy.
Ooh, there we go.
Are the beings we labeled the Great Devourers.
The Great Devourers.
The Tyranids.
The Hunger Boys.
The humans named them the Tyranids after their attack and consumption of Tyrant Primus. Revolting insectoid creatures that swarm world after world, consuming everything that stands in their path. All life is consumed by these creatures.
They're
consumed,
beautiful.
Studied and improved on. Though they appear as mindless animals, they are sublimely clever beings. They have demonstrable hierarchies. They adapt and evolve in the moment to conquer any situation. Little is known of their history.
Okay. You know what I want? I want, if Tyranids had TTS, I want a series. I want somebody to make a series if Tyranids had a TTS. Oh my god. I would watch that. I would watch that.
There are no records of them before the Great Sleep.
Yeah, they're the Zerg.
They appeared from the deepest reaches of space. The humans first discovered the creatures in the eastern fringes. Rumor has been said that they were first seen by the Inquisition as far back as the 35th millennium. Speculation and rumors, of course, but I still enjoy this discord.
Wagon.
It is said that they have begun to surround our galaxy, ready to unleash their own conquest, after being drawn by the Emperor's light within the void. I cannot say if this is true or not. Others believe they are being pushed back, chased into our regions of space. All of this poses a great question. Are these beasts coming to this galaxy after having consumed everything they could in their own? Or, and this is not the ideal case, are they running from something greater? If they continue their rude interruption of the drama that is the galaxy's unfolding history, I may have to add a new section to the gallery. Perhaps I will name it A Brief History of the Tyranid Species.
A brief history of the Tyranid species. I mean, I get they're the latest ones that he mentioned, so they're younger than the Tau. I mean, no, they're not younger. They have been discovered later. They could have been more ancient than the Necrons. Who knows? They're just rude. If anything, Necrons just consider Tyranids rude. They're not terrible. They're not an overwhelming, deadly threat to all galaxy. They're just rude and have a brief history.
The universe is at unrest. The rapidly growing threats to the galaxies have increased as the weak find power. All of us are grasping for our rightful place on the throne of the universe. All empires rise and fall. It is the destiny of all life to fade away. Life is a struggle for all who have fought to survive. Even the smallest of life forms face this turmoil. The weak become dust in the infinite darkness, never to be remembered. To rank which species stand at the top would be irrelevant in the current turmoil. They all cling to their spot, each battle and war gaining favor, or falling to the side to rise again. The great empires of the past have all earned their place in my halls. They each have a place in the history of the galaxy. The future of the universe will continue. Others will try to gain their spot, as did all the great empires of the past. It is a pitiful attempt. All life will wither and die. There is only one race that will succeed them all.
The Mechanicus.
We are immortal. We have
Just
learned
kidding.
from our mistake. We will rule our galaxy once again. But humanity, in its rapidly breeding expansion, has offered us what we never thought possible. A means to return to the flesh times. We are the infinite.
Oh, goosebumps at the end. Wow. Wow. I have watched quite a few lore videos at this point, but this one so far has been absolutely the best. The absolute best that I've ever seen. Amazing, huge shout out to Warrior Tier, you guys. Subscribe, okay? If that wasn't enough for you, subscribe. Why the hell do they have only 233k followers? They have to have 2,300,000. Oh my god, yes. Please, let's get it. Let's get it to 3 million followers right now only. Yeah, compared to the potential that they have, I think they deserve 3 million subscribers, okay? This was amazing, you guys. I don't know, makes me kind of scared of Necrons now. I just thought they were like cool sleepy boomers. They got serious plans for the future. The history of the whole 40k universe is nothing but amusement to them. They're worse than Mechanicus. That's what I learned. Thank you so much for watching, and a special thanks to our Patreons and YouTube members. Our top supporters this month are Brain Batter, Alien Love Gardener, Distinct Butter, Systematic Chaos, Markazar, Dean, Vero, Sol Edge, All Hugging No Thuggin, Greg, Jim D, and Alex Jensen. Thank you so much for your support, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.